Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the World Test Championship final for 2023. India taking on the Australians, number 1 and 2 in the Test rankings after the 2-year venture. New Zealand, where'd they finish? About 6th?
Something like that.
Somewhere around there. Ross Taylor has just had to give up the trophy because it's not coming home this year.
No.
I got my dad with me, I should mention. Hello.
Hello, Hamish.
Hello. I know you, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Enjoy a bit of cricket, don't you?
Things you have to do on a bloody Wednesday night.
Yeah.
No? It's not State of Origin. It's the cricket.
Yes. Although next State of Origin we will be doing.
Next State of
together,
Origin
won't we?
we'll have a crack at. Yep.
Yeah, the Australian lineup looking as strong as ever. Only real change there is Josh Hazlewood not being available. But the benefit the Aussies have is you lose one guy and you just bring in Bolland. So it's not
There's a
exactly
wee bit of depth.
yeah, not exactly the end of the world for them, is it?
No.
The Indians though, strong lineup too.
Yeah, I think so. They would have been working towards this, so they'd be trying to keep as many people fit that we're going to play on this. So they've possibly been a little bit of resting, things like that, leading up to this, because obviously this is important to both countries, both teams. You got bragging rights for a year. For a start, above everything's probably quite crucial for Australia's build-up that they have a good test match here.
Yeah.
Seeing as they're rolling into the Ashes straight after this. So the last thing they want here is to get bowled out a couple of times cheaply and get whacked all around the park.
Yeah, or else it will give them, I guess you could say, pre-trauma for baseball, won't it?
Well, it could do. It could do, yep. Not many spinners involved in this, so it's obviously seamless pitch. And maybe a bit of swing. Normally a bit of swing in England.
We've got quite a few people in the chat. We've got Padza, we've got Patrick, I should say. Almost two
From
Paddies
Ireland.
there. Yeah, Let's Go India says Justin, although from England says Paddy, even though he's in Palmerston North, I know this much. And Kossi has said, morning guys, evening for you over there, welcome in mate. And I, Amish and Dad, how your trip on Sunday? It was decent. Got up to quite a bit in a short amount of time. Travelling's always rough. You end up pretty tired afterwards, but then there was test match cricket on. So had to be fired up, ready to go. India, you talked about the swing. They decided they wanted to bowl first in these conditions.
Yep.
So that pretty much says straight away, no spin on the last day they're anticipating. Because or else then you'd think they'd want Ashwin to have a real crack.
No, not in England. Traditionally, the pitches don't break up in England like they obviously they do in India. So, yeah, probably get the best of the conditions for bowling on the first day. Pitch will be a little bit green. The weather forecast is obviously pretty good, so the pitch will dry out a little bit as the test match goes on. Certainly, first day, a little bit of seam. You'd expect a bit of seam. Could be quite tough going for the Aussie batsman first up, so I think India were pretty happy to win the toss and obviously have a crack at them early on.
I think Siraj is going to be an interesting one to watch out for because when he gets fired up, he can just go line and length all day, whereas you've got Shami in there as well, who's normally a little bit more of a little bit slower, but still very consistent.
Yeah, hugely experienced though, Sharma.
Yeah.
So he'll know exactly what's needed on these sorts of wickets. He will have done this before. It won't take him too long to get onto a spot.
Actually, quite a green top.
Yep.
Is that normal? Normally it's a little bit more brown, isn't it, for England pitches?
Yeah, they dry out a bit, but what are we? Start of winter here, so it's probably start of summer over there, is it?
Yeah, they'll be 21's the high for today.
Yeah, so 225 wickets for Shami, so bit of experience there.
Just working out his run up, almost ready to go for the first ball. It's going to be Khawaja and Warner opening, two lefties. And then you got Labuschagne at 3, Steve Smith 4. I feel like you need all 4 of those wickets as early as possible. You might not get them all in this session, but if you can have all of those guys out by some stage in session 2, you're probably doing pretty well.
Yeah, this is a big session, this first one.
Warner, always flashbacks to that Ashes series.
Yeah.
He hates England conditions. He hates Stuart Broad's probably the better way.
Yeah.
Put him there.
And the video analysis and all the rest of it and that, India would have cottoned on to that the same way that Buddy Broad made them look ordinary. Obviously, India will be trying to employ the same tactic, get their ball in the same positions, make them play.
Right, we're ready to go.
I think that fellow was waving to you there.
It was. A bit of wave back.
Wave back to the umpire.
David Warner, first ball. Shami the bowler. Relatively straight. Warner thought about taking the single out to short cover. No run, though.
Right on the money first up, though, wasn't he? Eh?
You always want to leave as a
No free
batsman.
ball. Yeah. Want to have a look, see how much it's swinging, see how much it's moving. Quality test bowler puts it on the spot first up. No free look. No free, wide outside off stump that the batsman can have a lash at. Field's pretty packed in around him.
Oh, that one straightened nicely. Hit him top of the thigh pad.
Yeah, bit high.
And also Amelia says, Pads base, up, says Amelia. And we've missed Test cricket. Hopefully the Aussies win this one. I see Shami as a huge threat. Says Nkosi there. Hello, Hamish and Dad, says Darren. And evening, Hamish and Dad, says Yarnley. Welcome in, everyone. Yeah, Shami's going to be one of the keys here for India.
Yeah.
Because in English conditions, you're going to be bowling for a long time, a majority of the time. So it's when you get those early wickets that you can start to cut down. Because most times, first team will bat for 100 plus overs. Well, that one took off.
Wow.
That's a ball that Warner will be looking at going, what's happened there? Right, Shami, he's not even sure what happened with that one.
How high was that over the stumps?
And how much did it move late? Seemed, and then just took
and
off.
Went over middle.
And Shami almost got a wicket, says Xavier. And dyed my hair yesterday, says Amelia. You were going to be dyeing it blonde, weren't you? Or kind of that quite bleach blonde, I guess.
Right.
The eyebrow raise from, who's that? Was that Gully, I think.
That's certainly something to think about anyway.
Yeah. That one didn't really bounce up as much as that second ball.
No.
Well blocked by Warner, though. Tell you what, we don't want variable bounce on day one, do we?
Aye, it'll make them feel like they're in India already. Aye.
David Warner round the wicket. He struggles big time with his average in England versus pace. Although, like I mentioned, Stuart Broad pretty much ruined that man's average.
Yes.
In the 2019 Ashes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Got him out for a duck. He got him out almost every way you could get a man out.
Wow. Aye.
Shami running in again. Solid in behind it for Warner. No runs yet for the Australians. Plenty of time left though, of course. Siraj, I should say. Looks like he's going to be bowling the second.
Got that look about it. So 5 balls down. He's had to play 4 of them. And the other one went over the top of middle.
Yeah.
After seaming back.
Pretty consistent.
It's not a bad start to the innings, is it?
No, you think of someone like a Tim Southey who sometimes just gives them a freebie outside off stump for them to watch.
We'll get 5. Yeah. That's normally what happens. Give them a couple to look at for a start so that they can see how much it's swinging. Right, last ball of the over.
That one's gone out to point, no run.
That one went away a bit too. Good over.
I guess one benefit you've got with going round is the fact that it always seems like it's coming in, doesn't it? Whereas over the wicket, maybe...
Batsman has to play.
Yeah.
Because you're never sure how much it's coming in.
Daniel has said up the Indians, and I went bleach blonde as planned, and I'm happy with how it turned out. Says Amelia.
Well, that's always a good start.
Yeah.
Because only 2 weeks between a good haircut and a bad haircut.
That is true. I've had my fair share of bad haircuts.
But certainly, yeah, you want to be happy when you walk out the door with it anyway. Myself, I don't have to worry too much about the haircut side of it. But
Why are you wearing your hat inside? Just in case we get a leak. No, it's just, it's a cricket hat, isn't it? It's got the World Cup little logo on it. It's taken away a lot of the light towards my face, but I like it for now. It's going to stick around. What I'm going to try and do is make that scoreboard a little bit bigger though. just because it does look a tad small.
Really?
Hey, you can still see me.
I can.
Hello?
That went the wrong way.
Oh, that's smaller.
That's worse.
That's worse.
Yeah.
She might just
Right.
be stuck small. There we go.
Now, Kawaja's been in tremendous form lately, so it'll be interesting to see if he can carry this through. Because Helly scored some runs last year. Come back in as an injury cover and all the rest of it and that. Now he's probably almost the first guy you pick.
Here's a fun fact for you. Also has a YouTube channel.
Oh, here we go. Wow.
Round the wicket, he's pretty handy. 62. But then saying that, it's been a long time since he's played in England, hasn't it?
Yep.
So probably completely different bowling attack. That was a very nice ball from Siraj.
It's only
Straight
taken
enough.
2 balls to get on target.
And if I was to dye my hair, what colours should I do except black or blonde? I know that you were talking about green, I think, a while ago, Paddy.
Oh.
The only problem is you got to work out what colour works with the clothes that you own. Because,
What?
like, if you've got, let's say, you've got a whole heap of, like, pink clothes, you probably don't also want pink hair. Because or else it might be a little bit too much pink, you know? Out here looking like just completely pink from head to toe.
So what are we saying? We're colour coordinating our clothes to match our hair.
Pretty much. It's like when people switch their shoes out, isn't it?
Okay.
You know?
So, how do you get on if you're bald? No clothes. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you wouldn't go no clothes because you don't want to match, you see. So you have to wear clothes.
Right. Probably a safe bet then.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. Anyway, back to the cricket.
I feel like I'm not really colour coordinated at the moment at all.
No.
That man's recording the whole game on his iPhone.
Kawaja allowing that one to go through.
Blue not green, says Badzer. And how's your cricket finger working? It's still there, like every once in a while.
Aye.
It's a bit rough, but like I can still, I can bend it now, which is good.
Soft.
No.
Soft.
Well, to be fair, when I did it, I went over and I was like to your mum, I think I may have either dislocated or broken my finger. And I believe I got 2 words from you. Harden up. Which is all well and good, but I couldn't bend it. So
Aye. You got 9 others.
true.
Right.
Although cricket gloves are annoying because you got to use them all, don't you? That's the leave. That wasn't quite on the radar.
Yeah, no, that's a bit rough, that one.
For Siraj. Hey, Hamish, what's up? Which team you think win here? Favourites? India have a slight edge with the toss. Says Coding. I believe in the cricketing odds that I have seen, it is actually slightly in favour of the Australians. Before the toss, they were 50%. India 35%, 15% for the draw.
Oh, yeah.
So the toss would have changed that a little bit, but I believe Australia's still slightly with the edge.
Still favourites.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that is just because of the form that they've been in lately, plus the English conditions. As much as people were saying it shouldn't favour the Aussies, I feel like it certainly does compared to if this game was played in India or somewhere with a spinner's surface.
Yep.
Maiden from Siraj. No runs off it. And none for none off the 2.
Well.
Hamish, you are soft, says Badzer. I am. But I own it, you know? At the end of the day, there's no point trying to act hard if you're soft. Just like in the bedroom, just doesn't quite work, does it? Currently the World Test Championship.
I think we need to get back to cricket.
You know the analogy though, don't you? You get what I'm saying, you know? No point.
I don't know anything about that, Hamish.
Don't you? How do I get here?
I'm not sure.
I just showed up one day and you felt bad, so you let me
72
in.
million and you were the pick of them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Right.
They got some strong batting up the top order. I don't know why we're showing India's batting averages. It's a little while till they're going to be batting,
Well.
I would like to think.
Yeah.
Of course, the big news, Ashwin not going to be selected.
Shami to Warner.
Well, that one cut him in a little bit. Thought about the single. You don't run on a missed throw though, do you? Or a missed field.
No. Having is still within the circle.
And I agree with that. Aussies are the favourites. What an analogy, says Nkosi there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you got it. You got a nice hat. His hat's better than mine. And he's got Adidas on the back.
He
Or
probably didn't even
Adidas.
have papers.
No, which is why he's so happy. Oh,
Could be.
he's not. Coolly angry.
Coley's never happy.
No.
Right.
Show me a goal. That's coming. Warner's not playing it well. The thing is, he always plays it badly from that angle and never, no matter how much he tries to, he never seems to improve it. It just still seems to cut him open.
I think. Yeah, off the seam, back into the pad. I think he gets in that little bit of a situation where he's unsure whether to leave.
Yeah.
Because traditionally he's always been such an attacking batsman. I think when he gets into the test format, he just gets a little bit sort of second guess about whether he should be playing or whether he should be leaving. And I think that's what gets him into trouble.
No run.
Because as soon as you start getting into that situation, you're just that little bit behind with the reactions.
Yeah.
And then he ends up... And good batsmen, when they push out, they catch up with it and get a wee nick on it. Bad batsmen can play and miss all day.
Well, it's like how, I mean, we've seen him before. He's actually tried to leave and actually still hit the ball when leaving.
Yeah.
Because
his natural instinct is to get the
get there.
ball on bat. And he tends to do that little sort of flick towards the end, but that's it. Straight onto his pads.
Mid-wicket way, I believe that's Rohit Sharma chasing that 2 runs for Warner. The first of the day.
That'll make him feel better.
There's medication that will sort that out, Hammy. Well, Hamish says far. There is. Yes. I kind of look like Boy George at the moment with the hat at this angle.
Do you?
You know the fellow who sings about the chameleon?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might ditch the hat.
Go on then. Ditch the hat.
It's so bright now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to look for something to throw it on that they could see, but there's not really anything, so we'll just put that nicely down.
That'll work.
Sharmy now charging in. Ooh, that had a bit of zip off it.
I'll tell you what.
Wow.
Shows how much Test cricket we've watched lately. I actually thought that it glanced off the bat. Straight to the keeper. Yep.
Well, you've got the sound, so you're going to keep us informed. Well, to be fair, you wouldn't be a mile off with thinking that.
Wow.
The only thing it was probably lacking was a noise, if anything. Shami, he liked it, but wow, that was the word of the day. Warner, he'll be looking at that one going, is that a floppy? Yeah, it's a bit floppy, yeah. Although it's stiffened up a bit around the brim. The top of it's floppy though, that one's hit into Warner.
Going down leg.
Got him in the inner thigh, that's twice now he's been hit on that thigh pad.
That was starting to come annoying, I would say.
And Hamish, I'm playing career mode, I play University Queensland. Says Xavier for his cricket 19, or his cricket 17 I think it was. We only played a very short amount of cricket, 21, didn't we?
Yep.
And that was about it.
Yep.
There's a new one coming out again this year. But I won't be doing what I did last year, which was buying it straight away to not play it and then have it available for free on Xbox.
Yeah.
That
You're
was
learning.
Yeah, slowly getting there.
You are learning. Right.
Siraj again.
Yeah. Khawaja back on strike.
It's pitched up a bit much there for Siraj. Khawaja quite likes that length, doesn't he?
He's a little bit watchful at the moment now. He's had about 3 balls that have been sort of thereabouts for a drive down the ground, but hasn't really shown any real intent to hit the ball yet. Which is quite interesting. I think if that was 3 balls to the English opening batsman, somebody would have had a crack at something by now, but not that that's relevant in this game.
Although they will play at the Oval, won't they, for one of their matches?
I would suspect so.
England at the moment, I believe they took on Ireland in a warm-up test, which I think they won relatively comfortably. So, yeah, Australia really, they want to win this one, don't they, to build that momentum heading into that Ashes
Certainly
series.
don't want to be going into the Ashes series with a loss under your belt, I wouldn't think.
No.
Or a poor performance. Not so much even a loss, but you could probably get away with losing the game if it's, a game that goes down to the wire and could go either way. And you've played well, but you certainly don't want to go under in with a couple of poor batting performances, poor bowling and fielding, because that's not going to give them any confidence heading into it. And those first couple of matches in the Ashes series are crucial to keep or to get momentum and to keep momentum.
Here's a fun fact for you. Khawaja uses oval-shaped bat handles rather than round. And he said that quite a few of the top batsmen do decide to use that oval-shaped handle because it feels a lot better in the hands. Although he's edged that one and he's out. So maybe he should have stuck with the circular one. Yeah, normally...
Wow.
Well, what I was going to say is he likes to choose that because you get a bit more feel.
Well, he got a feel on that
Yeah,
one.
you felt that one. It's going to be Khawaja gone. Wow. That's jinxed him, isn't it?
It has, actually.
I was going to tell you all about his YouTube channel as well, but now I don't get the chance. He's bloody out. That man's committed.
Very, very little foot movement there. He basically just sort of hung the bat out at it, I think. This will show it. Yep.
Just a half little shuffle, wasn't it?
Feet anchored on the crease, basically.
And Siraj.
Just waved the bat at it on the way past.
That extra bit of pace as well. That's disappointing for Khawaja because now he's in that scenario of, last time he was in England, he had a huge average.
Yep.
Now he's gone over there and that's not the start to the match that he would have been after.
They just showed his average in England. It's only actually 19.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, for his seven innings in England. So
Here comes Marnus, the man
probably in a lot earlier than he thought he would be.
I compare him to a cat.
To a cat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He always has about 9 lives when he's at the crease, doesn't he? People drop him, people no ball. And big pressure on Smith now, says Coding. Smith and Labuschagne, the two lefties. The two right-handers, the best buddies. Yeah, Labuschagne in at only 3.4 overs into the match.
Certainly an early breakthrough.
And that was a demolition by the English. Ireland stood no chance. Yeah, I think when they set it up, it was just pretty much an England booster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they play Ireland.
That was just a get the confidence up game. Unless something really incredibly happened, and England would always be expected to win it.
Yeah.
And, it's just a mind game thing, basically.
Because I guess it's the same for them, isn't it? If they go in and they lose a game up against someone just before the Ashes, let's say they played, I don't know, Sri Lanka or Bangladesh or someone like that and lost, then that hurts.
And then all of a sudden you've got those negative thoughts.
Right, Marnus.
It looks like there's a bit of grass cover on the wicket, so...
It does look a lot greener than I remember for the Oval.
Yep.
ICC Test ranking #1. No pressure.
No.
#1 batsman in the world for Test match cricket.
Yep.
Now going head-to-head with Siraj, who is finding his rhythm there. See, that one was just that little bit further back, and normally you'd see Khawaja take a pretty big step out to that.
Yeah.
Whereas he kind of just got stuck on his crease.
He just got stuck on the crease and didn't go anywhere.
Kohli was loving it.
Yeah, he thought that wasn't bad, actually.
I don't know what he said there. I can't something.
Yeah.
I can't see that.
I'm not sure what the discussion was there, but...
maybe I can't tell if I hit it or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Probably sounded good, did it? Oh, well, Labuschagne whipping it off his pads straight away, getting off the mark. Oh, bit of a misfield down there from Shami, and they're gonna cost an extra run there, India.
Yeah.
Smart running from Labuschagne.
Well run. Oh, he lost his black tape. That was his trouble.
You always see it again. Was it a big noise or?
Just a stock standard crisp nick. Just like clicking your fingers.
Yes. You Kiwis are awesome, says Keith. I'm going to talk to my friend that works for the Herald. Put a good word in.
Oh.
Says Keith Whitcliffe there.
Oh, that's
that was
a good ball.
That was a windmill leave.
Yep.
That was a right up round.
A little bit of outswing there, just a bit of shape off the wicket. Good over.
Very good over. 2 runs off it, the 1 wicket for Siraj. So whereabouts are you watching from, Keith? Do let us know. And when there's grass on the wicket, it's time to play cricket, says Far. I hope Smith gets a duck. A lot of people want Smith to do badly, don't they? I like how they've got to have the times up on the board,
Yeah.
just in case anyone forgets.
Yeah. That's just to let the players know. Be at the top of the stairs at 10:20 a.m.
Unless you're Cummins, who had to go out early for the toss.
Don't be late.
Who are the umpires for this match? Gaffney, was it?
Yeah, the one before looked like Chris Gaffney.
Oh, that's going down leg, I'd say. Chris or
down
Paul
leg.
Gaffney? What's his first name? Is it Chris?
Yep.
Who's Paul in the umpiring department?
Oh, sorry about that.
It's a good kick.
Right.
Are they
We're not
going
going to review it.
upstairs?
We're not going to review it. 4
No.
seconds. 3, 2, 1. Zip. That one's gone.
I'd say going down leg. Maybe, I don't think height was too bad. Oh, height not terrible,
Height not terrible.
but down leg.
Yeah. Yeah. If it moved over a bit further, it might have hit the top of leg stump, but no. Right.
I think that one was soft hands. Well fielded. Oh, didn't know where the ball was, but luckily his teammate helped him out.
The second goal, he knew it was underneath him.
See, that's a bad feeling when you're in the outfield.
Yep.
Definitely, like, that's lucky because he had someone with him who saw where it went.
Yep.
But I remember, unfortunately, in my second game of cricket back after my 10-year hiatus, I was fielding in the gully/backward point region,
Yep.
and I tried to get the ball. I think I dove for it, missed the dive, thought I was
Warner
agile.
drive down the ground,
That's a nice shot from Warner.
running hard. They'll be looking for 3.
I think he's going to catch up with this. Long boundary down the ground. Well fielded. They get 3.
Well run.
But yeah, I ended up missing it. Then I thought for some reason, even though I've never been able to do this before, I thought, oh, I'm athletic. I'll go from being on my knees, jumping up to my feet.
Oh, yeah.
So I almost got there, but I didn't. So then I fell over, did a roll, got back up, almost fell over again, ran straight at the boundary, and then learnt that the ball was about 15 metres that way and someone else had it. And unfortunately, it's all on camera.
Of course it is. Excellent. Aye.
Because,
It's moments like these you need minties.
there you go, sponsor us, Minties.
Right. Back to the cricket. 7 for 1.
Hello, Nov Mum. Hope you're doing well. Marking league stump here, Marnus. Is Shami still going to go over or round the wicket for this one? Or are you going to change it up? Either way, Lavishane making sure gets off to a good start here in the innings. They don't want to get Smith out there already, do they?
No. Yeah.
And Fresh Up. I'd accept a Fresh Up sponsorship. I quite enjoy a orange juice every once in a while.
Yeah. Yep.
The orange man got
Right.
apple
Charmy
juice.
over the wicket now. Ooh.
That did a bit off the seam.
A little bit of movement in off the seam.
How are we going over rate wise? We're almost, 25 minutes for a sixth of the way through. That doesn't really work out, does it? That's a bit behind still.
It'll speed up a little bit once they all get organised. There's a lot of shagging around at the moment, marking centres and all those sorts of things. Once they get a bit of a groove there, they'll know pretty much exactly where it is, so then it only becomes straight through the keeper.
Straight through. They get the bye as the keeper's hands all right. That's normally the one that you look for, whether or not he's got that right on the end of the finger.
Well, he just had the old ghost gloves there. He thought that ball was going straight into the middle of it, and the ball said, no. Well, we missed there.
Oh, yeah. He looked like he kind of flinched inwards, didn't he? It looked like he thought it was somewhere
Well,
and then realised it
I
wasn't.
think that he was a bit worried that because it had missed his gloves, it was going to hit him somewhere else. But luckily it went just underneath that area. which he was most relieved about, I would imagine.
I would think so. Even with a box, still hurts. You know?
No.
Oh,
8 for 1.
That
Australia
gonna
back
be-
on top now.
okay, that is the end of the over. That was weird. I think Warner got told he had to walk back to his crease first or something. Marching forward, and he Warner. And this partnership's a crucial one. Run rate currently 1.6, so they're not exactly going at a scoring rate where you can afford.
Oh, there we
to
go.
lose
New Zealand
wickets
was
now.
6th. Yep.
That was a good guess, wasn't it?
Wasn't a bad guess.
Jeez, I didn't show
Snuck
that
into
long.
6th. No.
8 for 1 though at the moment. The Oval. Rohit Sharma, heard in an interview before the match, he was saying that the outfield's normally pretty nice.
Good crowding.
Square boundaries as well, you get benefits for your runs. That's the way. Don't show me on camera, but I'll show it towards the camera
Yep.
so that I
Because
do
my
get
boss-
shown.
Because my boss thinks I'm at work. Yep.
Solid. Forward defensive from Marnus.
Right on the money again.
Marnus fact, he plays for Redlands, which which I live in, so yeah, says Xavier there. Nice.
Ah. Neighbours with Marnus.
You would have heard a lot of no run if he's practicing in the backyard, and
Yep.
he loves to use his feet as a stat they've got about him.
Yep.
Don't we all?
Dominates off spin bowling. Brilliant record against all pace lengths. Well, that's probably why he's number 1.
Almost 3,400 runs. Oh, he's going to take the cheeky single there as well. Well run.
Good running.
See, that's the thing. Warner's quite a... I like to compare him to some sort of little angry dog when he gets running, you know. He's got that little bulldog. Going to fly down the wicket, you know.
Like a wee terrier.
Yeah, fox terrier. One of those little fellas.
Or Jack Russell. Jack
Yeah.
Russell after a rabbit. Right? He's off.
Yeah, and Warner, he's always going to run quick. Labuschagne's very fit. So
Yep.
he's going to do the same. So they might be able to sneak a few little...
And that's
runs in
frustrating for
there.
the bowler. You bowl a good ball. You get pushed out into the offside or the onside, thinking, yep, another dot ball, building the pressure, and then all of a sudden, bang, they're off for a single. And then all of a sudden you've got to reset, especially with the left-hander, right-hander out there at the moment.
Now Warner back on strike. Oh, he's gone after that. It's going to go over the top for 4, but riskier shot from Warner. Short and wide, thought that
Short
as
and
long
wide.
as he gets something on it,
Yeah.
should be fine.
He looks like he deliberately aimed that up too, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a wrist flicky
Yeah.
cut shot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's intended to hit that in the air, so he's either going over the top of point or over the top of the slip cordon, so
How
good
the-
shot. Probably the first loose ball they've had.
We've seen nothing down leg yet, have we?
No.
Oh, that's not the shot though. He's walked down the ground. What was that shot? You
So-
want to try and explain what happened there?
They're going to have a think about this.
Siraj doesn't look sold,
Yeah.
but Warner has...
It's just bounced a little bit more, but it certainly wasn't there for that close-in cut shot or whatever he was trying to play there.
Oh, how the pitch behaves, says Jagannath. It's looking decent so far. We haven't seen too much variable. A little bit of grip for the seam.
Yeah.
But yeah, very strange shot. But maybe that's because he got a bit excited because he
Yep.
hit that last one well.
Yeah. Got
Trying
a bit of freedom on the ball before and thought, right, I'm in form. And then, yeah, that was far too close to be trying to play a cut shot too.
I think he was also trying to glide it down that third man
Yeah.
backward point region.
Yeah. In fact, he's very lucky he didn't just guide it to the keeper.
How much do you think it costs to stay in that hotel? Probably more the higher you go up in the floors
Right.
because you got the ground.
Man, it's going to have to go here again because they're running 3, I'd say.
Yeah. Good running. Maybe the wrong end, but it would have been an almighty throw for him to get it to him.
Pretty hard to throw it off when you're off balance. Well, that was a slightly more expensive over, that one. 8 runs off it.
Probably
Pitched up one, just punched down the ground.
still threatening enough.
Yeah.
With a couple of those balls, it's just that boundary got away. Coley looking like he's got to try and make a decision here whether or not they do switch up the bowlers or whether they keep Siraj on for one more. I watched him train because the Redlands cricket place is across the road from my high school. What's the best first inning score you think on this pitch? I think you need 400, don't you? Just to really set yourself up for the test match.
Yeah, you've certainly got to get 350 on picking. 350, you're still in the game. Anything above that, probably slight advantage to you. Anything under that, and you've probably sort of handed it to the other team to sort of make the play. But from sort of 350 on, you're still in the game. It gets harder for you to actually lose the test match, and you've got more chance of winning it. Obviously, the closer you get to 400, 450, the less chance you've got of losing the test match. But anything under sort of 350, it's still game on for either team. And probably more in favour of the bowling team. When you consider that if you get 350 or under 350, you've probably only used the first day and a little bit of the second day. Traditionally, the second day of the test match is the best batting day. So you hand the advantage to the team batting second to make the most of those better conditions. And certainly if they put on a big innings for their first innings, put on a big score, then you're under pressure to save the test match, and you're in a position where you probably can't win it. Unless something dramatic happens, which can do, as we've seen in the past, but not very often.
Got Kerr in the chat, cheeky midweek stream, so I had to pop in quickly. You're meeting Kerr for the first time, aren't you?
Hello, Kerr.
He's the reason there's random packages that show up at your door. Speaking of which,
Dun, 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 dun,
we've
dun,
got
dun.
another cheeky midweek package, Kerr. If you are still here, I will do the opening now, seeing as you are in the chat. The reason I'm opening it off to the side is because it's got my address and everything on it. It's an international one. It's come from overseas.
Oh.
But yeah, this is the Kerr that you have heard so much about.
Yes.
And also, we have got 981 for 8 declared, says Xavier. I'm playing Sri Lanka versus New Zealand cricket. Right.
Did you see that bit of fielding there, Hamish?
I did not.
Alright.
I was opening a package.
It was just a nice little push shot out into the covers. Here it is. Let's go run around, and then it must change direction on him, and he ends up
He
bloody.
slips, doesn't he? There's another Kerr package shipped today, so might arrive in time for the weekend. Another one. Oh, I could only wonder what this... I know what some of them are. Tell you what this is looking like. This is actually... Oh, that's coming.
Has come in, but it's too high. No shot offered. He wasn't expecting that to go that way.
Look at this piece of machinery there. It's a Glasgow Warriors away kit.
Wow.
Do you know what's cool about it? You'll probably notice the same thing as I will about the colours. It's actually the same colours as our local rugby club.
Yep,
So
true.
from a distance, anyone would think that it's our local kit. Bloody Glasgow Warriors, eh?
Very nice.
Snazzy looking. Whatever it takes is the little motto. And he actually got the size right. That was before he knew how big I was.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Kerr. We'll have to get that on at some stage. Land Rover on the back as well. Now look alright, won't it? Yeah. And he lives at number street, name, suburb, New Zealand postcode. Says Xavier, yeah. See, he knows the fill-in parts of that, but... Yeah. Should be warned that, now that he knows it, a lot of things show up at random times. But the courier, she's getting used to us, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, actually.
Yep.
Yep. That's a good run.
Yeah. All the way from England, I believe it was shipped from.
Ah.
And for all the Glasgow games, I know you will cover next season, says Kerry. Yeah, there's pressure on now, isn't there? I think I covered one of their games and they lost badly. So I don't know whether or not you want me to do too many more. Although they did win their first game up against the South Africans. But yeah, I covered their quarter-final and that was probably the worst game they had played.
Oh, no.
So I jinxed them.
Kerr's cottoned on to the Johnny Blaze thing, you see, with the Chiefs jersey. Huh?
Oh, yes. Johnny sent a Chiefs kit and then the Chiefs, they almost won the whole thing.
They miraculously keep winning. Aye? The Chiefs jersey's on, they come from behind and they win.
But yeah, the fact that it's the away kit and it's the same colour as the local ground.
Yeah.
Or the local team without you even knowing that, Kerr. There's some weird coincidences that keep going on. You know? There was something else that was a weird coincidence as well.
Scotland, he's from Scotland.
Oh, that's hurt Marnus's hand.
Ow.
That was right on the thumb and that pushed it upwards. So Raj, you know, as a bowler, you want to make sure he's alright, but also you're like, yep, got him.
Hey.
In Scotland, come on, mate, don't shame me with the English chat. Did it not come from England? I thought it had a detour, to be honest.
Where did it come from?
Bath Road in Chippingham. Oh no, Chippingham might be Scotland. Maybe I read Bath and thought Bath in England.
I thought on the other one it had come from the UK. On the...
Tracy was my operator.
Oh, okay.
What is this?
Oh.
Yeah, it's got Bath Road, Chippingham. I think Chippingham
United
might be...
Kingdom. United Kingdom.
Maybe it's got to go through
Yeah,
there.
maybe it went through there.
Maybe I went through.
Oh, yeah.
I may forgive it on the basis I'm never in Scotland. And what a lethal ball.
Nope.
Yeah, that hurts. Is that the colour of his finger at the moment? Oh, I don't know. It's on that part. He's like, stop it. Stop squeezing me. I'll put...
He's going... Eh?
He's put his hand in his armpit.
So they can pinch him when anybody makes it hurt.
Look at this real-time
What happens
replay. It just pops up. And it's hit that thumb. So it's the thumb that's there in front, no protection.
No protection, the one underneath. So he's still wiggling it round, all right. So,
But it hurt.
bit of cold spray. Yep.
It was posted from England, I think, so I'll let you away with it. It says, yeah.
A few couple of painkillers.
Warner's like, oh, yeah, give me a couple. Oh no, he's getting some eye drops.
What?
David Warner. At least he thinks it's eye drops. The way he reacted, it might have been alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, the sting going.
Pepper spray.
Yeah.
It's a couple that have just sort of reared up a little bit, isn't it? On the wicket, so...
I wonder what their seam looks like. I want to say that it's quite a prominent seam, perhaps. Because I remember one of our games we played, of course not quite the same level, more ball checks and whatnot on this one, but one of our games, there was a UFO. The way that the ball was looking with the seam.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess that natural variation of some balls are going to do a bit more off the surface and
Righto.
a bit more turn and bounce.
Next ball.
We got a donation from Kerr.
This is good.
Beer money for you and Dad. Dad, he'll be bloody loving that, won't you?
I'm going to find a beer in a minute.
Do you want me to go get you one?
No, not quite yet. I want to see what this ball... What's he going to do here? Same ball?
A little bit shorter.
A little bit shorter.
I don't think that's what he'll do, but I like the aggression that Siraj normally shows. So he might go a little bit about up to here.
Oh, chest high.
So not quite a bouncer, but about there to make him think about his fingers. It's either that or it's got to be pitched up, doesn't it? I pitched it up off the outside edge.
One bounce through to the slip. So
to the gully.
It looks like the pitch might just be a little bit soft, I think. Because there's the odd little scuff mark coming out of it, basically. You can see where the balls are actually landing. Whether it's skimming that grass cover off the top of it. So that might play into it a little bit later on, get a little bit skiddy.
A little bit dewy.
Well, you're not so much dewy, but yeah.
Nice play by Labuschagne.
Oh, he's
Work to the
let
leg
him off
side.
the hook.
You like that one?
Aye.
Tell you what, we better get the Kiwi lads cap on while Kerr's in the house, shouldn't we?
Aye.
There we go. Look at that.
Straight down the leg side, a little bit onto his pads.
I don't know whether or not you can tell, Kerr, but I did put a screenshot. That is
Just
me
right
playing
finger.
golf with the shirt on. I got to run working on the car today. I got to get the power up under 100 or 1000 bhp is no good. Working on the car today, got to get the power up. Oh, under British horsepower, would that be bhp?
Maybe.
Big horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
Nice Kiwi
Block
lads
horsepower.
cap. See, I wouldn't know too much about horsepower. Why is it called horsepower? Why isn't it like engine power? Because it's not a horse that's driving it, is it?
Because everything used to be dragged by horses.
So how many horsepower was the average horse?
1.
Fair point. So does that mean like
Good
100?
trivia question, though.
Yeah, 100 horsepower means that's the equivalent of
100
100
horses
horses pulling.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm.
Tell you what, that would be a sight to see. But
Yep.
surely at a certain point, a horse can only pull so quickly.
It's not about speed, it's about power.
Hmm.
It's not a fast horsepower, it's just a horsepower. Right? Traditionally, the horses that do the pulling are the big, strong horses,
Yeah.
not the super fast little ones that run around the racetracks.
I don't think I'd get a job as a horse.
You don't think you'd get a job as a horse?
No.
Right?
And brake horsepower. Oh, brake horsepower. Wait, so your horse... Yep. So how
Yeah.
quickly the horse can stop?
Yeah, you break the horse.
Ah.
Right? Uh-huh.
And Kerr said, yep.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know where that was?
No, Warner not quite getting that one right, so Raj liked it.
Hmm.
And horsepower is how fast you hit the wall. Torque is how far through the wall you go. So it's good. There you go. How fast you hit the wall. Tell you what, I felt that at go-karting. My ribs are saying something as well. I ended up with a nice big bruise on the rib cage. I think I bruised my bottom rib. But it was good fun. Just hurt to breathe afterwards.
Oh.
How much Australia can score in the first innings? I feel like they need, like you said, 350, somewhere around there. And also...
364 I've given them.
Oh, okay, one less than a year.
Oh, true.
Yeah, 365.
Wow. That didn't really factor into it when I was thinking about it, but just seemed like a good number at the time.
Another over down for Siraj and got a run. Possibly be back shortly. If not, see you at the weekend, CSQ. So yeah, we will see you later on. Friday, I think, is the first rugby live stream we've got, and that is Waratahs versus Blues at 7:05.
Big weekend for the rugby. Big weekend for the rugby.
There's actually some big matchups that have worked out, which is good.
Yeah.
Because the Reds are playing the Chiefs, the only team to beat the
Who they
Chiefs
beat
throughout the
them.
season.
Yep.
You've got Hurricanes Brumbies, which is always a good
Yep.
shot. The Draw versus Crusaders. The Draw beat the Crusaders last game.
Yep.
And then you've got Blues versus Waratahs, which is always battle with the blue kits. And normally ends up being pretty decent.
It'll be a penalty fest.
Yeah.
Right.
We like it that way though, don't we?
There's 2 ways the weekend will go.
Good or bad.
There'll either be 4 New Zealand teams in the semi-finals, or it could be the biggest weekend for upsets in the history of Super Rugby.
Ooh. Nice.
I'll be checking out the TAB odds. Although I feel very sorry for Fiji and Drua, because I think that the Crusaders will take the beating they got last time very badly, and they will be looking to make amends.
Yeah.
But that's not to say Fiji can't do it again.
Tony.
And the Reds.
And there is, yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Chiefs, it's been all the way through. People have been saying, yeah, but wait till they get to the playoff games.
Yep.
And that to lose the quarterfinal of a playoff game against the team that's already beaten you in the year,
Yep.
that starts to become a little bit harder to dispute, doesn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Just showing Kawaja's footwork or lack thereof.
Yep.
Not a lot of front foot action from Kawaja, whereas normally he likes to step to that ball. just didn't quite get it right. Warner looks jumpy, says Tony. He's developed that in the last couple of years, isn't he, old Warner? Looking like he's a lot more on the toes.
Yeah.
Which, in some regards, could probably be why he's messing up quite a bit.
Yeah, just struggling for form. You're struggling for form, you're not set, your head's moving around. Just showing the difference between Marnus there, where he's composed, his front foot's moving, his head's still, and he looks solid.
Yeah. Rohit Sharma. Going to be a crucial member of the batting lineup for the Indian side later on. He looks better, or he looked better a few years ago, says Tony. I think that's the case with a lot of those older batsmen, though. You know, like for Warner, ever since that 2019 Ashes series, I don't think he's been the same. Because he just got picked apart that much, and there were so many flaws in his technique that from there he had to try and fix so much in a short period of time, and he just hasn't quite been able to fix all those little things. Before that series, no one had really tested him that much. Like, he was getting a couple hundreds every little while, and you know, no real issues for him.
They found his weakness, and unfortunately from there, they exploited it. And cricket's a very unforgiving game for a batsman.
Yeah.
You bowl a bad ball, you get hit for 6, it's not the end of the world. You get to bowl the next ball. When you're a batsman, one misjudgment, one bad shot, thanks very much, you go and sit in the dressing room.
Show me. Oh, tell you what, that one's gone through Lavishane's legs. Almost rolled onto the stumps. It's gone just down leg in the end. I don't know where that ball had ended up.
He didn't know either. He was a bit slow to react there, basically.
I think he thought he just tapped it down, but it's literally just gone beautifully through his legs.
Straight through the legs.
I think it was only because Warner said something at the other end.
That the wee panic started to set in, but the ball was actually gone past the stumps by then.
Which team is going to win the World Test Championship final, says Naveen. It's a tricky one to predict. But, I mean... You want to say, normally the team who wins the toss... I want to say at this level they know what they're doing. But it's hard to tell. It's heavily dependent on this Australia top order, I would say.
Yeah.
Because...
if Australia can hold their own in this innings... I think Australia's bowlers will exploit the conditions better than what India's bowlers will.
Yeah.
So I think as long as they can survive probably this first session and a little bit get going again in the second session, I think this will be Australia's match to lose.
Yeah. And if they do get to that 350, 400 mark...
yeah. Then I think Australia is well and truly in the box seat.
Because I'm wondering what happens if it's a draw.
Yeah.
Because I assume that they have a day extra, but that's if it's raining and whatnot, I believe.
Yeah, that's if weather factors into it.
So
does
that mean that no one wins and New Zealand get it back?
I don't think that will happen. But, yep.
Go the Black Caps.
Go the Black Caps. You're still in it.
Still got a chance from 6th to champions. No, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happens.
I assume they just both half it.
I'm just trying to think what happened last year when New Zealand won it. Did we?
We just managed to get the job done on the 6th day.
We did get the last wicket at the last. Yeah. So. Not sure.
I think you know what they should do. They should send Virat Kohli and Steve Smith out to the middle with a couple pairs of boxing gloves.
Slug
just
it out.
wail into each other. Because I don't think you want to be in a fight with Virat Kohli. Yeah. I feel like he's like a little bloody meerkat who'll just keep on coming at you until you pretty much just give up from the pressure.
Oh.
Although Steve's a weird bloke. Because I feel like Steve's the type of... You know when there's always that kid in high school that's like weird and everyone knows is weird, but they're kind of like... You know, you think, oh, they look like they're a bit soft, but then like they're just bloody tough and they just throw hands real hard. Oh. You know how there's always that kid that like everyone underestimates as a fighter?
Oh.
Like Steve Smith, if he's got mannerisms when he's playing cricket, imagine him in the boxing ring. He ain't going over there and
I
pow
think
hits you in the
Steve
face.
Smith would be a Dominic Cruz.
You think? Just the
A lot
shuffle
of
of the
movement,
feet.
all over the place, erratic, everything on the move, different angles, all the rest of it. Very hard to hit. Yeah.
Whereas Virat Kohli probably more of a Cody Garbrandt. You know, tough guy on the outside with the
just
tattoos.
a slugger.
And
Yeah.
go out there.
Get in there and throw hands.
Ooh.
That's a good
Well
ball.
bowled again.
I think there's a little bit of variation in this pitch. That last ball certainly didn't carry through to the keeper. It actually went through to the keeper on the bounce.
Yeah, there's been a couple that have
And
double bounced
I
off.
think a little bit is to do with those the skiddy patches.
That's a good ball.
That was a good ball.
Virat's loving it.
Huh?
It's very green, but the ball's gone flat. Says Tony. That one moved away. It needs to throw up a couple on fourth stump and that length. Says Tony. Those things are very handy, aren't they? Those ones that you put in your ear and listen to the cricket through.
There's certainly still enough there for the bowlers anyway.
Pushing at that one
So you can
slightly.
see a little bit of indecision there, wasn't it? Wasn't quite sure how high that was going to come up.
Playing it away from the body. Currently 22 balls faced, 8 runs for him. He actually got off to a pretty quick start, didn't he, Lewis
Yep.
Shane? Now started slowing down. They are just showing that they've got the leg slip in play. 15 metres away from the bat. And that's actually a way that they managed to get Steve Smith out quite a bit.
Yep.
There we go. Win predictor, 59% for the Aussies, 41 for India. No draw there.
No.
So surely they can't just keep playing.
Oh, that was all but a leading edge there.
Can they? They can't just go, right, we're going to add days because or else then...
No.
Like,
They can still be playing in 2 weeks' time.
yeah. That's what they actually... Didn't they used to do that? They didn't have a time limit
There
on
was
the
no
test,
time limit.
and you just
Yep.
play till someone won?
Yeah. I remember reading somewhere about a test match that New Zealand actually played where where the game dragged on and dragged on and dragged on, and eventually they had to basically decide who was going to win because New Zealand had to catch the boat to come home. So I'm not sure how long the actual game went, but it certainly went over time. Hence the reason why they brought in the time limit now.
Oh, that's a nice ball from Siraj. Leo Shane just giving the umpire a bit of...
Yeah.
saying it was a bit high.
Bit high, yeah.
So Rohit Sharma's setting his field again, so they're not worried
No.
about this one. Also feeling it's a bit high. Looked flat now. It started swinging hard out. Do you think India picked best playing 11 against Australia in this final, says Naveen? I mean, they've certainly given themselves a good crack. That one seemed well off the seam as well.
Yep. No, it was an inside edge anyway, I think. I think I heard 2 clicks on my
Yeah.
headphone.
Okay. But yeah, the likes of, I mean, having Kohli in there after the form that he's had in the short format, Rohit Sharma, always a man who's just going to put it out there on the field for you. Siraj and
Yeah.
Shami, good options. Not going with Ashwin. I mean, that was a bit of a 50-50, but because of the pitch being the way that it is. And I'm interested to know how spin goes on the surface.
Well, I was just about to say that. It's pretty... it'll be interesting to see what the spinners do. You know, Australia are always going to back Lions regardless of what the wicket looks like. Very rarely is he going to be out of the team. Just because of the variation side of things, basically.
Yeah.
India have got Jadeja that spins the ball, obviously, which is, well, he's an all-rounder, so he covers the batting side of it as well, which is the one bonus on that front. But, yeah, interesting not to go in with a specialist spinner or a number 1 spinner, considering that, you know, England test teams traditionally have had a spinner in a lot of their teams over the years. So obviously spin does factor into the games at some stage during the test matches. whether it be on the last day or whether it be just as a variation as a change.
It will spin on day 3 to 5, is what Timmy said. And also it's too green and soft for a day 1 spin, says Timmy. Yeah, so I think normally the most Warner's chased that wide ball.
Yeah.
He said, I think he was trying to say to Labuschagne at the other end, there was no way I was going out off it, but he's gone out off it before. And the big swing. Asked Ross Taylor about a cut shot in a test match. That's also seemed away.
Yeah.
The way that one moved.
Warner was a long way away from hitting that.
Grant said, legend has it that one of those games is technically ongoing. The players have all died now, says Grant.
Oh.
For the longest test match. There you go.
Okay.
Unsettled rivalries, eh?
Yeah.
They're waiting for the footmarks from the pace bowlers to assist, says Timmy. Well, that's the thing. You may not even need the assist of the footmarks. If it's seeming like this already, I don't know what the ball looks like for India, but it must not be looking too bad in terms of that pronounced seam. Either that or it's just that grippy on the surface.
Yeah, you've got that grainy grass on top. There's certainly grass cover on the wicket.
My question is, who prepares the wicket in terms of who gets to decide what type of wicket it is? Do they ask Australia since they finished first? Or do they just go to a general consensus of a board meeting?
I think the ICC's set the wicket standards. I think they were trying to explain all that when they were in Pakistan.
Shot.
That's a great shot.
Pull shot away from Warner. 4 runs, a second boundary of the day. He's up to 17.
When Pakistan were trying to defend themselves as to why they were preparing roads over there and no result wickets. They did go through all the people that were actually involved in it. Supposedly it wasn't the captains from either team, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't quite remember the ins and outs of it, but
yeah. Warner looking like he's going to start smashing or get out, says Tony. And that's where the balance comes in for Warner. And that might be where having Labuschagne at the other end helps him. Because Labuschagne will try his best to tell him, don't go crazy here. We're still in the first session. Like, that's the thing. They're only 11 overs in at the moment. And the over rate is a little bit down because by the time we have drinks, they'll only be through 12 rather than 15.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, traditionally the first session you're always looking at sort of 26, 28 overs anyway. But hopefully they can pick, certainly without a lot of spin options and that it will take longer, but hopefully they can get through the required number of overs in the day.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty disappointing when you're losing overs from, the spectator's point of view and from the cricket watcher's point of view. And it lessens your chance of having a result, obviously.
I think the only thing the teams can change for the game is to use a big or small roller before the innings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's normally the
yeah.
only...
I don't think the teams themselves have got a lot of input into it. I think a lot of it comes down to the ground staff and the groundsmen at the venues. And obviously they come under ICC scrutiny if it's a poor result, basically. So it's in their best interest in that to prepare the best wicket that they think is applicable for the game effectively, because otherwise, the next time a tour comes around or the next time game allocations are out, they're going somewhere else, aren't they?
Yeah.
And a lot of groundsmen pride themselves on preparing their wickets. It's sort of a little competition within the groundsmen as to who can prepare the best wickets and all those sorts of things. I certainly know, the guy that I used to play cricket with, it was our groundsman here. And from here, eventually he went to Christchurch and all the rest of it. But, his passion is his wickets and preparing his wickets. And I suspect most of the groundsmen will have that sort of mentality You know, at the end of the day, you've got 5 days of cricket and you've got an awful lot of people watching. There's an awful lot of people that can criticise the hell out of you if you put up something that's pretty ordinary.
Yeah. This has been a very long spell from Siraj. He's actually going to be 6 on the trot at the moment. Same for Shami at the other end.
Yeah, so it must be just about due to start thinking about changing, but...
I guess one benefit they've got is they don't have an Ashes series around the corner.
No.
So they theoretically can empty their bowlers' gas tanks, but you just don't want to do that now, do you?
Probably ideally not on the first day of the test match or the first session of the test match, but...
Marnus Labuschagne back on strike. 8 off 28. Nicely whipped to the leg side. That should be at least 2 runs for Marnus. They're going to be running this hard. They should get 3. If not, no, will be cut off nicely in the deep.
They may come back for 4 here.
No,
settle for 3.
They take the 3. Safe option. Some sideways movement. Bounce seems a little inconsistent. Yeah, there's been a couple times where it stayed lower.
Yeah.
Popped up a little bit more.
There's a little bit of skiddiness to it, I think.
It's a good chase. So Siraj, he's gone for a few runs in the scheme of between the bowlers, but it's still not a massive amount, is it? Most runs for Australia in the ICC World Test Championship 2023. Usman Khawaja sitting at the top with less matches than Marnus, so this will be Marnus's chance to try and catch up.
Oh.
Did I just jinx him again? Luckily the keepers dropped that, but I don't think there was an edge for Warner, was there?
No, don't think so.
I think there'd be more reaction from Siraj. He's a very passionate bloke. Yeah, interesting stats there. So Steve Smith and Marnus have played every test match of the ICC World Test Championship. Khawaja's missed 3, Warner and Head have missed 2 each.
Yeah.
I want to say that Head missed them due to isolation. I think he missed at least 1 anyway, didn't he?
Yeah.
Warner, maybe injury. It might have been the one after he did his big...
Mental health. Pass.
Yeah, because he also had that massive innings, didn't he? How he pretty much got carried off the field after scoring. It was either 2 or 300.
Drinks it is.
Drinks. Would you like a drink?
Yeah, why not?
Do you want me to go get it?
No, I'll get
You want to talk to the...
You can talk to the people.
I'll talk to the people.
I'll go and see the fridge.
Okay. You think the fridge has any gifts for me too?
Do you want a gift?
I don't know if the fridge has any of my gifts.
Oh, that's very unlucky.
It is a bit.
I'll be back.
Alrighty. So, first hour down. 29 runs on the board. 3 overs short of the 15. So, we've seen some action. We've seen Siraj pick up the wicket of Usman Khawaja, gone for a duck off the 10 balls. Warner currently building into his innings, sitting on 17. Labuschagne 11. India winning the toss, deciding that they did want to have a bowl here in the conditions, and so far they haven't been doing too badly with that decision. Looking pretty decent indeed. But this next hour I think is going to be quite crucial, because if Warner can get going and Labuschagne can get going, you're in that scenario of a lot of runs being scored. First hour 10-9 to the Aussies, says Tony. Okay, I can understand that a bit. Although Khawaja, I guess you consider that as maybe a takedown or a takedown attempt from the Indian side, if you're going off like mixed martial arts scoring. And then just those consistent runs coming after for Labuschagne and Warner. I guess you would give them maybe that slight edge, although they're still a little bit down. So maybe, it could be a 10-9 to the Indians as well. Yeah, it leads to a good second hour of this first session, I would say. Got 55 minutes remaining of it. I believe today we are just covering the first session. We've got a nice early morning start for work tomorrow. Which is why having Dad here, it's been great to have him on the channel. It's been almost 3 months, I think, since the last time we've had him on a live stream of any sort. We're going to have him on for State of Origin as well, but yeah, he has got an earlier start tomorrow than I have, so yeah, it's good that he's going to be staying up late. Join us for the cricket. Being sent him one down is a good result, I think, says Tony. Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because Kawaja, they're showing his wicket. I was pretty surprised at that time. I was telling Dad all about how he used a different type of grip, a different type of bat handle because it made him play better, and then he went out that ball. I will never not be weird to hear Marnus Labuschagne or Marnus' surname being pronounced Labuschagne. Yeah, it's probably a better description of Labuschagne for you guys from South Africa, but if I started saying that, then I think that the others would get angry. You know, the Aussies might get angry at me. Hello.
There you go.
I just had a look at the clock. Yep, beer o'clock, isn't it?
It's near enough.
Yeah, it's warm in here though, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
When you go out there.
So you just have to talk a bit quieter.
Yeah. She gets toasty.
Get my ears back on.
It's the end of the Siraj over. Was just before the drinks break. Now we're in a different scenario because I would think we're going to see some different batsmen soon.
Really?
Oh, sorry, not different batsmen, different bowlers. But maybe a batsman as well.
Okay.
Who knows?
Right.
I'll stick that there for you.
Oh.
And also, what is Uncle Q-Lad's drinking? He has got himself some DB Draft. If anyone has heard of that, which you may not have, it's a beer.
It's not a bad drop.
Yeah, he likes it. Although it depends on where you're from, because some people, I know North Island fellas like, DB Draft, but
Yep.
yeah.
Some people go they don't want to drink it and all the rest of it. That's fine. At least more for me.
Yeah. And BD Draft says almost. And then Umesh Yadav now coming into the bowling attack.
Oh.
You ready to run more with them?
Although we did get into a few Fiji Golds last couple of weeks, which were very nice.
Oh, that's a decent delivery for a first ball.
Change of bowler, obviously.
Just the one run taken off Yadav's first delivery.
Straight on the money, first up.
You can't get Fiji Gold here, can you? Or can you? I know that the local supermarket doesn't have it.
No. You'll probably get it at the big bottle stores in Christchurch or something like that, maybe. Yeah.
Would you say it's better than DB Draft, or was it just it was there? So
there's only good beer and better beer. So it's what's accessible.
Yeah.
Right? You know. You can't get Fiji Gold here. It's a terrible beer. But in Fiji, it was very nice.
Shot.
There's a shot.
Nicely played
Well,
by Warner.
To be fair, that's a gift. Full wide outside off stump. That's a gift.
Warner.
No,
he's going to be
cover in
aggressive.
position. Yeah.
Nicely played.
Not a lot of foot movement.
Drop
but,
down to the knee for that
drop
one.
down to
didn't
his knee just to help it on its way. Yep.
he? Good beer comes in a green or clear bottle, says Tony. Interesting. So you said there's good beer and better beer. So does that mean the better beer comes in a brown bottle?
Maybe. Does from my point of view anyway.
Yeah. Green or clear bottle. I know that there's...
Clear bottle, hey?
That's normally more...
That's called water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a beer that comes in a clear bottle.
Corona.
Corona's... Yeah, it's in a clear, isn't it?
Corona's in a clear.
Export Gold? No. Export 33, I think's in a clear one.
Yeah, there's a few in a clear bottle. But
Want to get him very wristy with that shot off the back foot.
got that on the bottle.
Doesn't get it away though. And no beer should be in a clear bottle, says Grant. I think Australia might score 400 plus runs in the first innings, says Naveen. I mean, they've got a decent crack at doing so, as long as these two bat for a majority of this session.
Yep.
And get it right. Spates Summit Ultra Low Carb. It's hard work maintaining a body like mine. says Tony.
Yeah, I have that trouble too, Tony. That was a good
close.
ball.
Very nice.
But yeah, that Spates Ultra is quite popular, actually, the low carb stuff. Certainly become more and more popular anyway. Certainly, up at the golf club, there's a lot of it drunk. Once again, doesn't worry me because at least more beer for me. But
Yeah. It's an interesting one though, isn't it? Because it's like drinking a Diet Coke. Like, there's still stuff in it that's not good for you. Like, it's not really the carbs in the alcohol or alcoholic beverages sometimes that are not good for you or that cause the weight gain and whatnot. It's because your body can't get through the alcohol,
right? 99% fat free now.
Yeah.
Yeah, or sugar free. You're on a diet every time you drink it.
But like the alcohol's still not a good part of it, is it? When you think about it. I feel like
you say that?
such a sad face. Right? Like, in terms of like the low carb stuff, it's like
They use alcohol for sterilisation.
yeah, but only a little.
To be good. Right?
$40 a box of 24.
You have the alcohol.
Yeah.
You have the water. Both are good for you.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. And
Made from barley and things like that. Your wheats and your grains. They're supposed to be good for you too.
I guess,
How can it be bad?
to be fair, Daniel's girlfriend, she said out when she was sick, Daniel just told her to scull half a bottle of vodka, and she did feel better.
Well, we don't recommend that as a cure for the common sickness, but
But I think it's because it just numbs the
double change a bowler.
thick hair.
Yeah.
Bowling.
That last over was actually pretty disappointing from a
Yeah, Dove. Yeah, he
Indian bowling point of view.
didn't quite get it right.
Yeah.
There was a time people didn't have drinking water and beer was a perfect replacement. Still live by that. Clean drinking water is for the weak, says Grant.
Yeah.
Well, that's like anywhere that you go, you got to get the bottled stuff, don't you, normally? So you might as well have something else in it, make it taste nice. Now, once again, bit of swing for thicker.
Yeah. Bit of swing. This is actually quite a crucial spell here. Well, left.
That moved a bit. They're just showing the variation of
Yeah.
the way that the ball has been seaming and bouncing. She's not a fun pitch to bat on by the looks of it yet.
No.
Beer makes everything taste better,
Yep.
says Grant, except for chocolate, I've heard.
Yeah.
That's one thing that seems to not quite
Chocolate
work.
cheese.
Cheese?
Yeah.
Anything dairy, is it?
A
Or
little bit. No, not necessarily, but yeah. Just changes the taste of it.
So is that the same if you eat the chocolate before the beer? Does the chocolate make the beer taste different, or is it just the beer makes the chocolate taste different?
Beer always tastes good.
Okay.
Yeah. Very little makes the beer taste bad. Yeah.
Chocolate tastes awful anyway, says Grant. That guy look like he's going to hop it or hoop it around. Says Tony.
He's getting a bit of movement anyway.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
Getting a lovely outswinger going at the moment.
He's pitching it up a little bit more, similar to what we see from Scott Boland for the Australians. How it's more of that pitched up,
Southy,
full
drink
length.
bolt. But if you're a swing bowler, you gotta give it a chance to swing. The key will be to get maybe 4 or 5 of those, and then throw in one that goes the other way, or a wee variation, one that goes straight through. Even straight through would do.
The only thing beer can't save is those dreaded mangoes, says Grant. Grant has a vendetta against mangoes.
So he's just pitched that one a bit full and a bit straight, does he?
Yep. Oh, 4 runs down the ground. For Marnus Labuschagne. Do you like mango?
Yeah, it's right.
That's the right answer. Grant despises the things.
Oh.
You know? I did buy a mango on my holiday, Grant, except it's a Peruvian mango. And you know how I feel about those. I'm with you there, Grant, that Peruvian mangoes are not good. So it's going to sit there for a few days trying to ripen. And it's either going to be terrible when it does get a little bit more ripe.
Yep.
And I'll be sad.
Yep.
Or it will be nice.
Not a lot of sunlight hours for ripening stuff at this time of the year in New Zealand.
No.
Right?
It's a bit of a shame.
And it starts off at about -3 this morning. It takes a wee while to get the sun enough heat.
And Whitaker's chocolate, try it. I bet you will like that chocolate, says Badzer. See, George has become more fond of the Whitaker's chocolate over dairy milk lately. Because he likes that slightly darker.
Yeah.
Like he likes a Whitaker's... Oh no, he likes Puhoi.
Once they started making our chocolate in Australia, it was starting to go downhill. Australian chocolate's terrible. Far better when it was made down the road in Dunedin.
We went to that
Cadbury
chocolate factory once, didn't we?
Great big chocolate waterfall. Just like Willy Wonka's.
Except we didn't have Augustus Gloop in ours.
We did not. No.
Right. No, mate, I don't think any chocolate... Oh, I don't like any chocolate. If they can make chocolate taste like steak, then we can talk. Says Grant.
Interesting concept. Right.
George
You
would
can vote for your favourite player of the day.
And yeah.
Yep.
Who's your favourite player of the day?
Well, it'll never ever be David Warner, regardless of how many runs he scores. I like Usman Khawaja, but unfortunately he's gone out. Pat Cummins.
All but uppish, but nicely
Up a bit.
glided.
That's going to
From
go
Warner.
all the way because he's hit that in line with all the practice wickets.
Race into the boundary there. And that's going to be now 25 runs for David Warner.
Yeah, things are just starting to free up here with the bowling change. So Australia have got a chance here to really start to sort of dominate. Because there's certainly a big difference between the two opening bowlers for India and what we've seen from the next change.
Telling you, there is no way anyone would hate Whitaker's chocolate, says Badzer Blaze. What about someone who has a cocoa allergy? Although we did, or dairy intolerant. Because there's dairy intolerant and there's allergic to dairy, isn't there? There's a slight difference.
Yep.
I remember we had the kid who was allergic to pretty much everything at our school.
Yep.
So no one was allowed an egg sandwich, were they? Or peanuts or anything like that. I don't know how he goes now. Is he all right now? I think he kind of grew out of that stage.
Don't know.
Maybe. And favourite player will never be Dave Warner, 100% agree, says Grant. And, well, they don't count, says Spencer. Okay, so anyone who can eat chocolate will not dislike Whitaker's chocolate, what you're saying.
That's probably a fair statement.
Warner sitting on 25 now. Closer to that half century, and he's that's poor again from you, Dev.
Yep.
This is
They're just feeding them runs here at the moment.
It's all the hard work of the first two bowlers now getting taken away by the second two, or I would say by your Dev. The other man was bowling well, wasn't he? Thakur, he was bowling pitched up deliveries, but this is just loose.
Just leaking. It's just leaking runs. That's just meat and drink. Short and wide. Punch through cover point.
Sharma's not happy.
No.
Now Warner moves up to 5 fours in the innings. Warner's going crazy now. They need Thakur bowling at him. And also that kid who was allergic to everything is probably now an insufferable vegan. No, I think he's a meat
That's
lover.
almost gone for 6.
That's a great shot again.
Another slash at a wide ball outside off stump. Nailed it up over the top of slips.
Morning, Hamish. Just finished teaching for the day. Good game so far. Please introduce your guest. I missed that. Thanks for the commentary, says Joss. Yeah, it's been a pretty action-filled first session. This is my dad. He's next to me. I was like, whoa, my fingers disappeared, but then I realised the microphone is blocking. So that's where it went. But yeah, this is my dad. He's chilling out watching the cricket with me. But yeah, we saw that one early wicket of Khawaja for the duck, which I think was quite surprising.
Very surprising.
Then, yeah, now Warner's starting to get his runs going.
Well, they're just feeding them.
Oh, that's just gifted. If they got a guy, they don't have a guy out in the deep. That's
No.
16 runs off this over from Yadav. And he's looking at it like, wow, why is Warner swinging and everything? It's because you're putting everything outside off stump wide.
Wide outside off
And
stump.
he's just getting free hits, pretty much. 16 runs off that over. 4 boundaries for Warner. Yadav struggling, 16 runs, poor bowling. So he's going, yeah, and that's certainly helped out the Aussies. They'll be taking it. We have got
All of a sudden they've gone from 2.5 and over to up over 3.5 and over. 3.7 and over or thereabouts. And with no risk.
no. It's just those back foot punches, isn't it?
Just freedom.
Hi, Hamish's dad. Good to put a face to the name. You have a good lad, Dad, says Joss Pike. That's me.
Does he not know you?
Huh? What? I'm alright, aren't I? Mean well. And I, Hamish and Dad, says Yarnlu, and I thought I was fast, but those runs, though, says Pads Ablaze. And also Ashwin would have been the right choice instead of Umesh Yadav. What do you think, says Naveen?
Well, they were talking about that before, about how Ashwin will never bowl bad, basically. So he's always thereabouts, always going to be a threat.
Yeah.
Whether the wicket's spinning or not, he's always going to be at the batsman thereabouts. And a little bit of variable bounce with his height. He could have been quite tricky, but I don't think our man at the other end's going to be bowling too long, I don't think. So we're going to get to see what India's fifth change is going to be very, very shortly, I would imagine.
And I believe
fifth
that's
bowler.
Jadeja.
Yeah, which will be very early to be trying to bring a spinner in, but they may have to because both openers had a reasonable spell, they won't be quite ready to come back for another wee short spell now, so they're going to have to introduce that fifth bowler. Because they certainly can't afford to just be gifting runs at the other end.
Grant said Yadav looks like he should be a better bowler than he is. Well, that's the thing. Normally he's like, I don't think he's normally too bad, is he?
No, certainly in the past he's been a good bowler. He's got plenty of experience and all the rest of it. He's just not getting it right. Whether he's allowing for it to swing too much or there's the variation.
Came back in. 130 Ks.
So basically just bowled that one straight through, didn't he?
And dropping Ashwin, highest wicket taker for India in the World Test Championship, was the right decision. Says Coding. Well, that's the thing. He probably, to be honest, he needed to be in there, I think. But it's always like knowing now what we know is always different from knowing what we knew at the start.
Yeah,
of the contest.
hindsight's a beautiful thing, but
oh, that's close though.
no,
No,
down leg.
down leg, and it stayed low.
Did stay a bit low.
They might
They
go
may
up
well
for
have
this.
a crack at this.
What are they deciding here? India, do they want to use it? The whole team's in and around. Yep, they are going upstairs for it. Also, just back to the rugby for a moment. It was great to see Andy Leslie being recognised for his service to the rugby. He was the captain of the 1976 All Blacks to South Africa. First test match at Kings Park in Durban. Says Joss there. 76, you would have been about 7 years old
Yep.
at that stage.
Could well have watched it. Right.
So you thought down leg.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it does have that tail, doesn't it?
It's got a little bit of angle on it.
The question is it going to be enough angle? I have a feeling we're going to get an umpire's call
It
here.
could be an umpire's call, but
Because Labuschagne naturally drifts towards that off stump, doesn't he? He'd hasn't been playing enough first class or test cricket. His lengths are terrible. So impact is in line. It's umpire's call. Reviews retained. Only just clipping. So they can't be too disappointed with that one.
yeah.
I wouldn't think. That's the type of one, though, that if it was given out, it would have remained out. Even though it was only touching the slitherest of margins.
True.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Your pups and I are a similar vintage. I love those tours involving provincial games and a number of tests.
Yep.
I'm not sure we had TV in South Africa in 1976, says Grant. As of now, your dad ages 54. I have did the maths in 1976. He was 7. Is that correct? Not
Just
quite.
a smidgen. Just a smidgen.
Not quite. He's a bit younger than that. He's a young
54
pup.
this year. 54 this year, to be fair. Just not quite yet.
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't look a day over 35.
That's it.
It's all the beer.
Good boy.
Yeah.
It's not the beer. It's a lack of beer for the first 13 years of my life.
Only 13.
Yeah, only about that.
That's going to be another maiden for Thacker. So he's doing his job at this end.
He is. Yeah.
It's just the other end that's
He's
letting them
bowling
down.
well, but they can't afford to be leaking, 10 runs at the other end.
Yeah, Dav's sitting 21 runs off the 2 overs at the moment. That one came off the seam as well, didn't it?
Yep.
So what I might do is I might give you the microphone quickly. I'm going to go get myself a drink.
Oh, fair enough.
It'll be sneaky. It's very warm in this lounge,
It is.
you know.
Right.
So you're going to be in charge of the commentary for this over. That
Okay,
all
so
right?
Udard's finally got one on the stumps.
That's a good start.
Played it straight. India a little bit disappointed with the review. They didn't quite get it. But certainly from the umpire's point of view, you can see why it was given not out. It was basically just clipping the end of the leg side bail. Short and wide again. Well, they've put a man in the deep now, so saving the boundary there. So only 1 run to Warner. But that was just another hit me ball. And of course, Marnus is batting probably 2 feet outside his crease, so that gives him a little bit more area to play with as far as nullifying that movement off the pitch. So Marnus just tickling on quietly, 16 off 42, just anchoring the innings a wee bit. Warner, who's had that free hit in the last over, 38 off 46, so Australia's starting to build a bit of a partnership here. Certainly becoming nuisance value from India's point of view. After the start they had, they probably would have thought that they might have had a second wicket by now.
It looks like he's bowling better this over, though.
Well, no,
Slightly.
they've got a man in the deep. The last ball that went for a single would have gone for 4. It was short and wide outside off stump again. But they've got a boundary sweeper now.
So the economy of 8.8.
Yeah.
And everyone else is under 3. Oh, that's a poppy delivery, though.
Wow.
We're already looking at this. I think he much prefers bowling to right-handers.
Yeah.
That seems to be the case.
It's an ugly bounce up. Right? Where's that one getting? Oh, other thumb that time.
That would have hurt.
Got the glove on. I got the padding on that one, but
You'd have as a strapping lad, says Grant. Well, he's a unit of an individual, isn't he? A big muscly fellow.
who?
You'd have.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Who
He's
do
a
you
strong
think-
bowler.
You think I was talking about Labuschagne?
That was who you were talking about, actually, to be honest.
Mm. Maybe I was describing yourself.
What?
In my opinion, instead of Barat and Umesh Yadav, Ishan Kishan, Ishan Kishan, and Ashwin should have been included. Yeah, I'm interested to see how Barat goes. Because he was probably, like you've kind of said there, he was one of the question mark guys of whether he would be ahead in the order. That's going to be out wide. Is it sunny inside, Hammy? It's hot inside at the moment. We had the fire going earlier on.
Yeah.
She feels like a sauna. That's why I had to get a drink. I was about to pass out.
Yeah.
Nice and warm, toasty.
We cranked up the fire and all the rest of it because it was a bit chilly outside. It's going to be another good frost tonight. So we cranked up the fire and put a bit of wood on it and all the rest of it. And then because Hamish was doing his commentary and can't talk softly, we had to shut a couple of doors because the people go to sleep. And it's certainly warm enough in here now.
Sounds like setting a field for the bad ball, not good for the first session of a test match.
No, it's a pretty, well, not so much negative tactic, but it's certainly something as a bloody attacking skipper you don't want to be doing.
It's very conservative, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But what it means is that he hasn't got a lot of faith in the depth of bowlers, because normally you just pull that guy off and say, right, okay, well, it's not your day at the moment. We think about it, and we'll give someone else.
Ooh, Warner advances. It's a short ball down the leg side.
So whoever their fifth bowler is, they don't want to use them yet.
Yeah.
So
It looks like a sunny afternoon though, doesn't it, in England? Which, I mean, normally the Ashes series you have a little bit of 50-50 weather, but hopefully this Ashes series when it comes around, nice and sunny. Uncle Hamish's dad looks like he was a strapping lad before Hamish ruined him. Would that be correct?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Kids will do that to you. Don't have them.
I'm alright now though, aren't I? He's my buddy. We go fishing together and whatnot. Which we'll have to do soon if they ever drop the river level.
Yes, unfortunately they've had a bit of rain up around the Alps at the moment, so they're letting far too much water go down the river. So we've only got the rest of this month to get some fishing in on the river, but at the moment it's running pretty high and pretty dirty, so...
Shot. That'll be 4 for Labuschagne.
Yeah.
Reaches out, hand-eye coordination on point there.
Yeah.
Another 4
Anything
runs.
hits square of the wicket regardless of what side it is, because the block's so big here, with all the practice wickets, that basically all but go to the boundary. Everything's just hard and fast. For everything that's square, but
Pretty much out of the middle.
it's getting close to the middle, isn't it?
Hamish, you know what sleep means? I do, although I've learnt recently that I've been sleeping worse over the last probably 3 or so weeks. Oh, that's out.
That's got to be close.
Okay, umpire says no, I liked it. I put my finger up. Rohit Sharma's going, ah? You could hear someone yelling at him.
I think
You've got
they're
it.
going to have a crack at this.
You've got it. The whole team, he's doing the behind the back one.
I think they're going to have a crack at this.
I think it's pretty close.
I think it's pretty close too, actually.
I gave him out.
Aye.
I mean, I've given things out
Same
before.
scenario though, you see, because Marnus is down the wicket.
That is true. He took a good step.
But he's batting a couple of feet outside his crease. So anything with a little bit of angle on it, it's got the chance of missing.
That bounced steep. Yeah, that might be high. Just, you thinking?
Yep.
Also,
Look how far he is down.
very close to an inside edge.
So it's at
It's
the top of the pad there. I think it's going over.
Going over the top.
I think this will be review lost.
Hello, Nate. And yep, over the top, you called it. We got a donation from Nate.
Oh,
It's an $8 super sticker. Now, to be
Thank
able
you
to
very much,
see
Nate.
what the super sticker says, I will get it up on my phone. It might be a hippo waving though. And top up, says Nate, he's recognised the beverage straight away, hasn't he? On Blues, Nate.
mm-hmm.
And Warner gets 403. Amish's dad, he was mediocre, says Xavier. Yeah. But that's just Warner, isn't it? Unfortunately. Right, the super sticker from Nate
India will be starting to get a little bit nervous about using reviews now.
was that, how's it going with a peer?
Ah, okay.
This is probably your first experience of super stickers, isn't it?
Very nice.
Yep. That's what
Well,
that
thank
was.
you, Nate.
Welcome in, Nate. Alright, Amish, all good Kiwi lads, Dad. Says Blues, Nate. And your dad is far better commentator than George. No therapy needed for this co-pilot. Yeah.
To be fair, though, I've probably played a little bit more cricket than George has.
Although George has played a bit of rugby in his time for his rugby commentary, hasn't he? It's weird because George is a book that has some pages glued together, and then other pages have heaps of knowledge on them.
You can't say that about poor George.
No, it makes sense. Like he'll sometimes, like one of the live streams more recently, he had a talk about like the player eligibility rules and everything, and he sounded like he was like the president or something. He was like listing all the problems with it and all the positives and negatives, and I think the whole stream were like, where's this come from? But
George might have been listening to the radio in his tractor or something.
good old George, eh? He didn't come round for any live streams last week. He was supposed to come round for 2.
He's
And them
probably
both
busy.
down.
He's probably busy. Right.
She's got a cricket bat.
Yep.
Don't know how well that one would go out in the middle. It's a little bit small, I would say.
Autograph bat, that one.
And what you drinking, Hammy? I just had a drink of water on the light stuff tonight. We love George's beds, so we do. He means well. You know? He's like your second son, isn't he? He's always around here. Showing up at random times.
Yep.
Tell you what, we'll have to get down to a Waimedi game on a Saturday though, won't we, with this kit? It just looks like the local team, doesn't it? That red. Bloody good.
Right.
And get a beer, Hammy. Go on. Says Pad's nah, I think I'm...
What do you say? Get a beer.
Get a beer. I mean, my dad's got a second one there. He'll shotgun
Snap the
one.
top on that, bro.
Snap the top. Why you got to do this? You know that I'm...
Oh, give us a yeah, there. You hang on to the microphone there.
Oh, hang on to this. Going back to me being soft, Paddy, my hands, you know, ripping them apart from the handle.
Computer hands, not construction hands.
No.
You hang on to that.
Oh, poppage. Went up
That's
a little
Poppy
bit
again. Yep.
I mean, while I also went out there, I did put a can of something in the freezer. So it will be nice and cold by the end of the stream. So that's good news.
See, Warner's just a little bit late on that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think he knows that it could or could variable bounce.
Nah, I think he's getting old and his eyesight's starting to go.
No. I think I'm getting older and my eyesight's starting to go. I was trying to read signs on the way up north. Oh, we missed that one completely. Was that slower ball? No? 138?
Oh, no, yeah.
I see why you don't drink now. Yeah, it's just normally, you know,
Can't
it's
open them.
easier ones to open than those ones. Love a can.
Young fellas nowadays, you see, they can't get into the bottles.
Yeah. Any variable bounce at the moment or movement off the pitch? A lot of movement in terms of that seam.
Yep.
Ball's going all over the place.
Yep.
Bit of variation as well, to be honest.
Bit of swing, bit of seam, and a bit of variation. Perfect for batting.
Yeah, I was reading one of the signs on the way up,
Yep.
looking at it like that. It said Rakaya, but I thought it said Palmerston.
Close.
Palmerston's not even north for South Island Palmerston, is it? And an absolute shocker. I believe George's comment was,
That's a really good leave there by Warner.
it was, you effing what?
Yeah,
Because,
that'll be about it.
yeah. And those ridiculous hours in front of a PC screen is what is causing your eyesight to go, Hamish? Yeah, it is. I probably need like PC glasses. The sacrifices I make, eh?
Mm.
Also, the sleep deprivation probably doesn't help it either. You know? I don't think I've had a stage in the last, like, 2.5 years that I've felt like, right, I'm well rested.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, you got to get more sleep.
I do, but it's too much to do. It's just the way that it is. Late night cricket, early morning rugby. And India must have seen something in the wicket choosing to bowl. Yeah, I think they're...
The green top.
Yeah, they got excited.
They got excited.
Thought if they can get those early wickets, which
said,
they
wow,
did.
Look at all the grass on that, and it's green and fast. A little bit of moisture in there for movement. Got everything going for it. And they started, look, India started really well. 2 opening bowlers, put a lot of pressure on, made them play, moved it round.
And then the next
Unfortunately,
two...
when the next two, well, next one really, Thacker's going all right. He's batting none for 9 off 3, and he's swinging it around a bit, but I don't think he's making them quite play enough.
No.
He's just sort of starting his line on sort of off stump and then swinging away.
Ooh.
That's that straight one, you see. He probably needs to use that just a little bit more, I think.
Nice easy run too. Ooh. Well, it should have been easy, but Warner, was he dawdling a bit there?
Nah, pretty easy, I think.
Green top isn't enough if the bowlers are spraying it around, says
Yep.
Joss. But yeah, it just shows how much of an impact having one poor bowler in a group of 4 can have.
Yeah.
You know, you could have the 3 best bowlers in the world, but if that next guy isn't quite doing it as well, they're scoring all the runs off him, then Thacker's spraying it a bit more around because he's feeling the pressure to try and chase that wicket.
He's trying to tie them down and trying to get that breakthrough. And at the other end, they're getting a free run, basically.
And you'd have us get in there, says Tony.
Over the years, you know, there's been a huge amount of bowlers that have worked in pairs for effectively all the teams around the world.
Yeah.
And that's been the strength of their cricketers, but bowlers bowling in tandem. And sometimes it's not always the guy that bowls the best that gets the wickets. But in tandem, they work. You know, one guy ties them down, they try and get runs against the next guy. But when there's no pressure at the second end, the batsmen know that they can just, we'll just see this guy out. He's bowling well. And we'll make enough runs off the guy at the other end, so we don't need to have any pressure on us to score runs.
I have a question. Slow over rate, deducted World Test Championship points aren't really a thing, are they? So
No.
what gets deducted?
They're just the money.
Money. Because they're not going to get through any more than 25 overs, I don't think, in this first session.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
But the umpires have to be onto that. You know, this is the frustrating thing about it. You know, the umpires know how many overs have been bowled. They know that they're behind on the timing. Somewhere along the line, before you get to the last half hour of play, the umpire has to go, come on, fellas. You're 4 overs behind. You have to catch, you know. We've got to catch this up. Because it's getting ridiculous. You know, unless you're one of the top 2 teams and all the rest of it, you know, and, you know, Australia missed out last year, didn't they, because of the slow over rate cost, they got penalised for it.
Yeah.
But unless you're one of those top 2 teams, it doesn't actually affect you. And it's becoming, you know, just a factor of Test cricket that the public are missing out because over rates are too slow. And there's no real reason for it.
To be fair, things have slowed down since I joined 20 minutes ago. Yeah, it seems like the runs have slowed down quite a bit. in terms of, well, I guess it's one of those ones that when you see an over with 16, everything feels that little bit slower, doesn't it, afterwards?
Yeah, it's just, yeah. The sort of
See, now that's a full run-in that they're going to have.
the hype's sort of gone a wee bit at the moment. It's just sort of the, I don't know, the intensity or the bloody, enthusiasm has just sort of flattened off since they had those couple of free overs. Where now Australia are sort of almost starting to get to the stage where they're getting on top.
Yeah.
Win predictor's gone up to 65% for Australia now. 35 for India.
Right, Thako final ball. It's going to be a solid 4 defensive from Marnus.
So they've brought the keeper up to the stumps to try and get Marnus to go back. To bring in that LBW option.
Strategic.
Yep. What it probably does is make it very, very hard if he actually nicks one.
Yeah.
For the keeper to catch it. So it's a bob each way, isn't it? You sacrifice the one that goes straight through to the keeper in the hope that it either deflects off the keeper and someone else catches it, or...
Because where were the slips? Were they also up or were they still back?
No, they're still back.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of sacrificing one dismissal for another, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's nice and full.
That's a bit of ball.
From your dove.
Maybe he's starting to find his line a little bit here. Although he's coming over the wicket now, isn't he? He wasn't before. He was round the wicket. Yeah.
That water looks nice. It's always nice for a cold beverage, isn't it?
Was that water?
Yeah, or just any cold beverage when you're in a hot sun. Because in England, hot days feel a little bit warmer, don't they? Just because they almost aren't used to it in some regards. So like a high of 21 is supposed to be on the cards for today, and that's going to be a nice afternoon.
That'll be pretty pleasant.
I think the only day they're expecting rain is the final day, the Saturday.
Well, they did say earlier on they expected to get right through the five days. So,
Dav's economy almost gone down to 5 and over now.
Yep.
So he's slowly bringing it back. Yeah, like we're sitting 12 minutes away from the end of session number 1, and they need to get through 10 overs.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Even getting through 5, I would say, in this time's optimistic. Unless if Jadeja comes in, we might get a couple more overs caught up.
They're only going to get 24. 25 at the most if they manage to start that last over.
Bringing the keeper up is to put pressure on the batsman and not really as wicket-taking strategy here. They just want to keep Marnus in this crease.
It's to bring Marnus back to his crease. Instead of him having him batting that 2 feet outside his crease, which makes it very hard to get an LBW decision because of the movement of the ball and how far it's actually got to go. So by coming up to the stumps, they draw Marnus back to the crease line and open up that opportunity for those 2 LBWs that they've reviewed and just missed out on, basically. So it makes it a little bit easier for them to judge the review side of it if he's batting on the crease line as opposed to being another 2 feet further forward.
Solid again.
Because what looks good when you hit him 2 feet out in front of his popping crease doesn't necessarily look as good when you're back on the crease line. So
I think that camera wasn't where it was supposed to be. I think it just got knocked over whatever it was supposed to be filming. Well, what did they say? I will not get married unless someone scores 76.
So that's Coley scores 76 or something.
Yeah.
Picky. Sure. Aye.
There's a lot of pressure on Virat Kohli. Oh, no, got the bat to it, did he?
Yep.
Or was it leg by?
Bat, I think.
He did. Snuck to it. Nice finish to the over for the Aussies.
Just helped it on its way.
Quick hands.
So he's certainly bowling slightly better when he's gone over the wicket. Obviously he didn't like bowling around the wicket, but that was the plan to Warner has been to bowl around the wicket, hasn't it? So his line's improved. by going over the wickets, but he's just ventured onto his pads there.
What does that say? Windia versus Australia. That's what that says.
That's it.
Do you see what he did there?
So do we play on words, isn't he?
Yes.
No?
Been busy.
Tried to be a bit clever.
Who wins the championship if this game ends in a draw? That is what we want to know. I think it ends as a draw. I think both sides end up... Oh, no, we're all down the white shirt.
What an embarrassment that guy was. Hey?
You could finish that in one go, couldn't you, if you really wanted to? Someone
Huh?
donates $20, you'd chug it in one.
What's that? Oh.
Drink responsibly, kids.
Yeah, that's it.
Hi, Kiwi says, Ryan, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Right, run rate of 3.19, over rate of about -6 at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is not good. Like, that's... By the time we finish the 3 sessions, we might only end up with 75 overs bowled, needing 19 in that last... 15 in that last 30 minutes.
They're going to have to pick it up a bit anyway, that's for sure. But, you know, like I said, that's something the umpires should be talking to the captain about during the lunch break.
Yeah.
And say, look, you know, we're 4 overs behind or 5 overs behind. You know, by the time they get the afternoon tea, they need to have caught up some of those overs.
Oh, that's a freebie.
That's a cracking shot.
Great shot from Warner. Covered drive. No one out there.
Wide and full outside off stump, and that's a beautiful shot, even for David Warner. No, they don't get much better than that.
Hamish, Afghanistan lost the ODI series against Sri Lanka. Says Ryan.
Stop drinking. I kill you.
Not quite what they would have been wanting then
Right,
for Afghanistan.
Coley just stood there and watched that one. And deep down, he probably thought that was a good shot too. But
Yeah. I wonder if Uncle H's dad knows about his wife's secret love, the Mighty Stormers.
true.
They lost the final. Sorry, Grant.
Wow, that didn't bounce.
That stayed very low.
Did you see that? Huh?
Shot through
Yeah.
like a bullet. Like a bobbly bullet, I guess you call it instead. All Warner, 7 away from the 50. He's got 7 minutes. You see him getting there before.
Here we go. Oh no, it's the other guy, Thacker Warner.
This seems like a fun angle that they've created, which is like the helmet. They've pretty much just taken it from Cricket 21.
Yeah.
You know how you can press the button and then
Yep.
look around?
Yep. Deep back to a point, looks like he was sitting on the stand, but he's not. He's actually on the field, but
Hamish, I think David Warner will not play in the Ashes. What do you think, Hamish? I think he will.
he's talking about retiring after it, so
Oh! Is that the wicket? That is. Warner's going to be gone.
gone
Right.
out to an absolute shocker of a ball.
I know that feeling.
Wide down the leg side. Warner's smiling about it because he knows that was just crap.
But yeah, I think he was gonna retire after the Ashes, wasn't he?
Absolutely bought a wicket.
That's the glove. Although that is how they managed to get Labuschagne out quite a few times in a row.
Great catch by the keeper.
Was it Labuschagne who they got out? No, it was Dean Elgar.
Oh yeah, yep.
They kept on getting him out.
Great
that way.
catch by the keeper, but yeah,
Right.
it's a dog of a ball and a dog of a way to get out. But it happens so often, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I've been out that way.
Yep. Oh, we've probably all been out that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Hamish Ashwin is injured, so he's not playing. Is he injured, or did they just not pick him? I think they said beforehand that they just didn't want to pick him for this game
yeah, no, I don't
because of
think
the conditions.
I think he was fit. They just didn't pick him.
On my way home, we'll log on when I get there. Thanks again for the commentary. Says Josh, we may not be here when you get back, Josh, just because we're doing the first session today, but yeah, we might see you in a couple days' time for the weekend rugby. They lost the final. That comment was not necessary, says
Yeah.
Grant. And yes, Warner out, says Grant. Yeah. They did well though, didn't they? I think David Warner will retire after the World Test Championship final, says Ryan. It'd be a weird time to call it off though, because I feel like that's putting a huge amount of pressure on your side for selection-wise.
Well, it would, yeah.
Throughout the Ashes, because that's kind of, you've taken a spot away from a young guy who could have gone over there early.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think he's probably committed for the Ashes.
Unless he's hiding from Stuart Broad. He's worried Stuart's going to ruin his average before he gets out of there. Right, Stephen Smith at the crease. Have to say, Thacker did deserve a wicket, just not for the ball that he got the wicket on. But it just shows that that's cricket, isn't it? You can bowl brilliantly, not pick up a wicket.
Like I said,
absolute terrible ball.
One bad shot or one bloody, loose moment. The dog ball that should have got hit for bloody 4 or 6. It ends up buying a wicket.
Hamish Ashwin in India now because he got very hurt in IPL players. So I thought he was at the ground before I thought they showed him. Not sure. David Warner being an eggplant is completely on brand, says Grant. Do you know what that emoji means? The eggplant emoji?
I can imagine.
Will Umesh get a wicket or not? I mean, he's going to have to sort out the bowling a little bit first. But there's all chance. I mean, if that ball's shown us anything...
He may get one later on for bowling a pie that gets mishit to someone.
But that's not the time that they wanted to lose the wicket.
No.
7 minutes before lunch.
Yep. Come and start Kerry Green.
It's quite a deep lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a bit of batting to come there yet.
Travis said he'll be aggressive in these conditions just to see if he can warm up to the Bazball style for taking on the English.
1, 2, 3 minutes to go.
Tell you what, we might only get one more over. 7 overs short. Maybe.
They're going to get 20. They'll get 24 max. Yeah. That's actually poor.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Like 2 wickets, that might lose you 1 over. You know? If that.
Barely.
Just with the time that it takes to get them on and off the field, maybe you lose an over, so that would mean that they should still get through the 29, no worries.
I think you'd expect to lose 2 wickets in the session, so that's probably factored into the time.
And at absolute worst, if you were being generous for them, another maybe 1 over loss for the checking.
A little bit of mucking around.
So 28 minimum.
Yeah. No. You would certainly expect them to bowl 26 overs in the first session.
Yeah. Swinging 26. Yadav's going for 26. Labuschagne also sitting on 26.
Yep.
At the moment, Steve Smith, they have switched the man on his leg side to about a 26-degree angle. And that's for that ball right there. Although it's missed him, no shot played from Stephen.
It's popped off the thigh pad.
If Rain have a reserve day, yep, they have got another designated day planned just in case. Oh, that was almost hit though. You got to be careful leaving them like that, don't you?
Nearly bounced high enough to miss the hip or miss the fly pad.
Man with his binoculars. He's also trying to get down the wicket a little bit, isn't he?
Yep.
Minimalise the chance of.
Yeah, because the bowlers aren't super quick. You see, it does allow the batsman just to advance that little bit.
Just got very dark there. I think.
Where?
The cricket.
No.
Oh no, sun coming back out now. It was just going behind the cloud. There was still a shadow. It was just.
Must have been a cloud there.
Just all of a sudden, from that angle, it looked a little bit more dark. Shouldn't rain today though.
Stephen's getting a bit of dancing going on.
He loves a bit of footloose, I believe. Steve Smith's the best way of putting it. You know, stepping across, get him planted, and then, a little bit of heel to toe, and then a little bit of a straight arm.
Give it a bit of that
carry afterwards, eh? But I don't think they're getting through another over after this. It's currently 11:30 here, which means we got a 30-second delay, so I think they'll be pretty close to their time. Going to be just the single taken. One ball remaining. Labuschagne will be on strike here. Dav has recovered nicely after his loose.
Yeah.
Of a second
He's
over.
certainly been more effective when he's come over the wicket.
And now that he's bowling to two right-handers in the future, because I believe that they'll go back to Siraj and Shami start of the next session.
You would imagine so.
Maybe that's their strategy. Only bowl 24, so you can go 6 and 6 with the bowlers, 6 and 6 with the others. And then try and make up for it.
Last ball before lunch.
Try and make up for it with the spinner near the end, I guess. Oh, that guy's playing with the fire exit. Watch every wicket replay on worldtestchampionship.com. There you go. That arm, I've been having it dangled down there the whole time, and I've kind of put myself in an armbar. It's going to be nicely fielded at mid-off, and that will be the end of session number 1. We had 23 overs, 73 runs, which isn't too bad for 23 overs worth, and 2 wickets. To fall. The 2 openers going, Kawaja.
Just over 3 and over. 2 wickets. Pretty even, really.
Yeah.
Pretty even sort of a session. Certainly getting that extra wicket at the end has put it back to even as opposed to Australia's session.
Now it's going to be the best buddies. Batting probably for the rest of the day.
Could well be. Yep.
Yeah, it was alright, wasn't it? Bit slow in terms of overs, but
Yeah.
yeah.
There's going to need to be some hustle at some stage, otherwise they'll be lucky if they bowl 80 overs for the day.
Yeah, and then that's not good.
Well, that's ridiculous. Yeah. You know.
Definitely because when you consider the fact that if Australia somehow did lose a lot of wickets in a hurry, then you've still got that innings changeover, which is an extra 2 overs, isn't it?
Yeah, basically,
So-
10 minutes, so, yep.
Thanks, Hamish. It was lovely meeting you, Hamish's dad, says Grant. Yeah, rugby this weekend, eh?
Yeah,
Exciting scenes.
big weekend.
Super rugby. I was doing my schedule for this month. There's a lot of stuff on.
Yep.
You know, we're going to have to work hard throughout the next couple of weeks, me and you. Mainly me,
Yeah.
like working for you,
Yeah.
so that I can then take a couple of weeks off for the Ashes.
Really?
Sounds good, eh? Or else I'll be, unless I completely change my schedule, work afternoons, sleep mornings. Because the Ashes days all finish at 5:30 a.m.
Uh-oh.
Which is a bit rough when you're thinking about starting work at 8.
Yeah. We won't be starting work at 8. It's frosty at 8.
And nonetheless, we do thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, back for the weekend for Super Rugby Pacific. A few videos coming out in the near future of lineups and everything along those lines as well. Yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy the rest of the day. I'll probably be watching at least one more session of this game while doing a little bit of editing and whatnot. Yeah, it's good to have you on this first live stream for quite some time, wasn't it?
Just a bit. Yep.
Yeah, you got to drink, you got to have a chatter.
It's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, not the worst job.
Wow. And we got to see David Warner go out.
Yeah, it was perfect, really, isn't it?
What more can you ask for?
Yeah, nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and we will see you all for the next one.